sure they have their supporting documentation. So if you have a business or rental property, then you're going to have business expenses, and unless you have the supporting documentation for those expenses, the IRS, if they audit you, they're not going to give you those deductions. So it's pretty basic stuff, but most small business owners don't take the time to maintain proper documentation, and that is how the IRS wins most little people audits. So in the little person's world, small business owner world, they tend to go after people who are just not compliant with documentation and just erroneous returns. In the big company world, those companies have their documentation and their returns are generally accurate. They're going after strategies that the bigger companies are using to try to save taxes and poke holes in those. So, but in the small company world, that's usually it's not strategies that they're going after. They're just going after basic blocking and tackling. And so that is extremely important. And if with our fully outsourced accounting solution, we spend a lot of time with our clients. We gather all the receipts, all the documentation every week, all the bills we pay and the client pays. We keep that supporting documentation and we keep it organized. It's one thing to keep it, but it's also you want it organized the way the IRS is going to want to look at it. So that if they would audit you, you give them the documentation in a nice box, all organized, and they're in and out in 2 hours, and they go away because they know you've got your documentation and your compliance in order. And if you don't have that, so some clients might keep their documentation, just throw it in a trash bag or something. It's totally unorganized. Well, at least I got their documentation, but it's not in such a way that an auditor, IRS auditor, can actually use it. So then you've got to do all that work that you should have been doing on a regular weekly basis, during the audit, and the auditor then knows you don't have your ducks in a row because you can't quickly respond to their request. So that's the tell that the auditor gets when you don't have all your documentation, because you can't give them the basic stuff that they're asking for, and that raises their antenna and they start looking even harder because they sense that there's more to get there.